Welcome to Legal Nurse Podcast. This is your spot to get inspiration, tips, stories, and guidance to help you in your legal nurse consulting practice. I'm Pat Iyer, the host of Legal Nurse Podcast since 2016. We are among the top 5% of all podcasts in the world in terms of longevity and sharing information consistently week after week with legal nurse consultants. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Would you like to know how to know that legal nurse consulting is the right fit for you? Welcome to Legal Nurse Podcast. I'm your host, Pat Iyer, and in this episode, we're exploring a powerful and practical question. How do you know if legal nurse consulting is the right path for you? If you've ever wondered whether you have what it takes to enter this field, or if the specialty aligns with your goals and strengths, you're in the right place. This episode is based on Chapter 2 of Legal Nurse Consulting Success, Volume 1. That's a must-read resource for nurses who are looking to build a business that puts their clinical skills to use in an entirely different way. I'll share the key qualities, mindsets, and lessons that will help you determine whether legal nurse consulting is your next best step. Let's begin. Let me introduce you to Juan. Juan was a nurse who reached a crossroads in his career. He was looking for work that was less physically and emotionally draining. Sound familiar? He still wanted to use his nursing knowledge, but in a new context. Juan's story mirrors what many of us feel at some point, that longing for a change that still honors our skills is what we should be doing. Juan was attracted to solving problems hidden within medical records, working with precision and detail, helping attorneys understand complex medical issues, and moving away from direct patient care while still making an impact. These interests are exactly what legal nurse consulting demands. If you're nodding along, that's a good sign. Transitioning into legal nurse consulting isn't just about learning new tasks. It's about thinking like a business owner. One of the biggest shifts you'll make is realizing that your time, knowledge, and expertise are valuable. You're not clocking in anymore. You're showing up as a professional consultant. And this means setting rates and standing by them, saying no to the wrong clients, knowing your value before expecting others to see it. A big challenge for many new legal nurse consultants is confidence. When attorneys push back on pricing, it can be tempting to discount. But as the chapter reminds us, this is a business. Your rates reflect the expertise you bring. I met a physical therapist who was an expert witness. When I asked him what he did when attorneys challenged his fees, he said very calmly, "My fees are my fees are my fees." That kind of confidence takes practice, and it is essential. Let's focus on qualities of successful legal nurse consultants. You might be wondering, what traits do successful legal nurse consultants actually have? Here are some of the key ones. 5 years of a clinical RN experience. That's the foundation that gives you credibility. You need sales ability, not pushy sales, just the ability to communicate your value. You need optimism and resilience. You'll face setbacks. Staying positive and persistent is key. Self-motivation is critical. No one will hand you assignments. You have to build your business. You need empathy and personability. Attorneys need to feel comfortable working with you. Strong writing and speaking skills are essential. Your job is to explain complex medical facts clearly. Organization and analysis skills are required because you're often working with massive amounts of medical data. Be resourceful. You'll need to dig for answers or build exhibits from scratch. Have good research habits. Being able to find accurate medical references is critical. Also important is a calm demeanor under stress. Attorneys are often under pressure. You'll be a steady hand. If this list feels like you or close to you, take it as a green light to keep exploring. I want to mention a little bit about workaholism and boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries. It's easy to slide into overwork, especially if your business is building and you're still working as a nurse. One of the fastest ways to burn out is to say yes to every opportunity, especially if it doesn't excite you or serve your goals. Ask yourself, am I doing this out of guilt? Am I agreeing because I feel I have to? Is this a clear yes? If not, then it should be a no. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. No is a complete sentence. And before we continue, I'd like you to take note of what I'll show you in the next couple minutes about our upcoming conference for November 13, 14, and 15 called LNC Success Online Conference. This is a conference that will move your business forward in a significant way through the educational sessions that you'll attend and the networking that you'll be able to complete while you are a part of this virtual conference. It is easy, it is convenient, you don't have to leave home, you can manage your diet and not pay for any additionals while at the same time receiving professionally prepared, well-designed education specifically to help you obtain more clients, manage your business in an effective way, and stand out so that attorneys are attracted to your skills and your services. Go to the link below this video, which is lnc.tips/NOV25. That stands for November 25. lnc.tips/NOV25 and sign up for our conference. Put that date on your calendar. The first date is the 13th. We'll be meeting on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 days in a row, November 13, 14, and 15. A conference prepared by myself and Barbara Levin. Now let's return to the podcast. I'd like to focus now on managing clients and negotiations. Attorneys are savvy negotiators. Some will try to get you to reduce your fees. Others will test your boundaries with last-minute requests. Don't take it personally, but don't cave in either. One LNC learned this the hard way after agreeing to unreasonable requests only to be paid late or not at all. The lesson? Know your worth and enforce it. That means charging rush fees for urgent work, asking for retainers, following up on unpaid invoices. The more professional your boundaries, the more attorneys will respect you. In this chapter that I am drawing tips from for this podcast, I cover the trickster's triangle. This chapter also introduces you to something called the trickster's triangle, which is the three roles we often play without realizing it: the villain, the victim, and the hero. The villain blames others and asserts control. The victim feels powerless and overwhelmed. The hero tries to rescue everyone, often to their own detriment. In your LNC business, it's easy to slip into these roles, especially the hero. But these dynamics are draining, and they can sabotage your relationships. So what do? Notice when you're playing a role. Recenter and respond. Don't react. Set boundaries that support everyone involved. You'll also find, as you consider legal nurse consulting and build a career, that you may experience periods of overwhelm. You're trying to balance client work, marketing, home life, and possibly a day job. That's no small feat. That's why this chapter and this podcast emphasizes managing overwhelm. Ask yourself, what's causing my overwhelm? What can I let go of? Am I being clear about my priorities? Simple habits can help. Block off time for deep work. Batch your marketing tasks. Take real breaks and get outside. Don't buy into the myth that being overworked means being successful. A sustainable business is one that leaves room for rest. Also, be aware of your responsibilities to your clients and the need for detachment. The most powerful LNCs don't have just one experience. They have clarity. They know what they want. They know what they can tolerate. And they're not overly attached to any one client or outcome. When I was asked to reduce an invoice by an attorney, I didn't back down. I stuck to the value of the work, and the attorney paid it. Not because I caved in, but because I communicated the value. Here's the bottom line. You don't need every case. You don't need every client. You need the right ones and the confidence to choose wisely. Legal nurse consulting is not for every nurse, but if you recognize yourself in the traits we've covered today, if you're ready to learn and grow and commit, this field offers unmatched opportunity. Do you want to dig deeper into this topic? Get your copy of Legal Nurse Consulting Success, Volume 1. You'll find the full chapter this episode is based on, plus many more insights from experienced legal nurse consultants. Visit http://lnc.tips, LNC Success 1. That link again is lnc.tips/LNC Success 1. And that's all one word, LNC Success 1. You could order your copy today. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Legal Nurse Podcast. I'm Pat Iyer. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep advocating for your value. Hang on a few more minutes to find out what's coming up next on Legal Nurse Podcast. Hi, I'm Pat Iyer, and the next Legal Nurse Podcast is about the topic of determining if legal nurse consulting is right for you. I cover some of the important qualities that you need to be successful in this field and mention some of the challenges that you'll encounter. The aspects of running a business to keep in mind as you move into an entrepreneurial role. It'll be just me sharing my thoughts in the next episode of Legal Nurse Podcast. I'd love to see you watch this show. Thank you for being part of the Legal Nurse Podcast audience. I'm delighted that you've joined us for this episode. Be sure to go to legalnursebusiness.com and get your free reports, look around the website, pick up some tools that will be useful for you in your legal nurse consulting practice. And be sure to join us for the next episode.